Pain Free for Life members, this is Dr. Rob Van Bergen from Pain Free for Life. Welcome to today's 10-minute Monday microcurrent training, our video series in which I try to teach you something valuable all about microcurrent and keep it under 10 minutes. A little while back, one of the most popular ones of these videos I did was the top 5 things that everyone should know about microcurrent. Like it was super popular. Everyone was really happy. And I was surprised that these things that I thought were common knowledge were not common knowledge among a lot of people. So that video being so popular kind of prompted someone, I guess, to ask the question, what about the top 5 things we shouldn't do? And it's not something I really thought of either. But I guess it is an important question. It's a great question. It's very useful information. So here we are. Today's training is the top 5 things not to do with microcurrent therapy. So, number 1, don't pass the electrode directly over the thyroid. Now, we talk about this all the time. That one of the best things you can possibly avoid doing is going directly over that thyroid area there. So when we're doing treatments like Pirogov's ring, we'll actually sweep above the thyroid so as to not cause any problems, right? Now, we need to be able to pull this off because we still need to be able to treat the neck. We don't say you can't do that. But what we're looking at, the reason being, is that thyroid is such an extremely sensitive gland. And microcurrent is extremely effective at promoting and making change. And so one of our rules of microcurrent is that simple. Avoid treating directly over the thyroid with microcurrent to avoid shifting energy levels. You don't want someone's normal functioning thyroid to become a hypothyroid by dropping low, or hyper by being up high. So you just avoid it. It's a good tip. It's a good kind of starting point. If you do want to treat the gland, if you want to treat the thyroid gland, you can use attachments like the Hache and the Hache. These can be safely used over the thyroid, no problem. So the second thing not to do with microcurrent is to not cross the spine. This is a little bit of a microcurrent myth, if you will. I always like to refer to it as that because it's not like I myself have ever seen anyone have any problems from doing this. But the concept is that crossing the spine is going to screw up your nervous system. You're kind of dragging electricity across it, and it's going to mess everything up. That's the myth. Still, repeatedly crossing the spine can have a detox effect on the body, to the point where we actually have a protocol in Current Medicine's 2nd edition called the Cleanse Protocol. It's not one I really use often at all, but it does kind of function to trigger a detox-like effect in the body. So it does have a therapeutic use, but this is achieved by repeatedly crossing over the spine, kind of in a zigzag motion. So you're not really going to want to do that unless you want to achieve it. So just avoid repeatedly crossing over the spine. What we mean by this is if your spine is, nice and straight like this, you treat on one side of the spine and the other side of the spine and directly on the spine, but don't go across the spine like this. It's not a good idea. If you accidentally slip across the spine once, it's not going to destroy you. You don't have to worry about that. But it's just a good point of order to avoid doing that. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this one I see people making this mistake a lot, is to watch which frequencies you use on the brain. The brain works on frequencies between about 0.5 and 45 hertz, which is quite low. We don't see it go above that, okay? So it's unclear how the brain reacts to high levels of energy. So if you ever need to treat the brain for inflammation or the head for inflammation, or you need to deal with scar tissue treatments, anywhere kind of from the eyes up, you want to make sure that you follow up with some ear clips at 7 to 12 hertz, or to take the brush attachment and paint the scalp to kind of get that 7 to 12 back in. Not only is this relaxing, but it kind of like forces the brain back into its own electrical space. So just bear in mind that while you will have to treat the head sometimes, treating from eyes up is something that we want to just be cautious of the frequencies we're treating on. And just to end that therapy with 7 to 12 is just good practice. Again, it's not something that I think is going to be detrimental, but it might put the person into a bit of a fight or flight mode unless they're able to pull themselves back out of it. Okay, so the next one is to not stimulate the vagus nerve unless you have 7 to 12 hertz, which is your alpha frequencies. This doesn't happen often because we do mention this everywhere, but stimulation of the vagus nerve should really be kept to 7 to 12 hertz or below. We occasionally use 121 hertz as what I will call an advanced protocol, only to be used in an emergency crisis on the vagus nerve and only for like 2 to 3 minutes. And to anyone watching this video who maybe doesn't have a microcurrent device, not all microcurrent devices are made the same. Please, please, please do not stimulate your vagus nerve with a TENS device you bought on Amazon or any kind of device that says it's microcurrent but was really cheap. Even if the frequencies match what I've said above, the high levels of electricity in those types of units can actually cause neurological damage that can take weeks or months to recover from, even with short-term treatment. And I have seen a direct case of this. Is why I always promote this concept. Is just someone used a TENS device after watching a vagus nerve video that we did on YouTube, and it took them, I think, 6 to 8 months for the side effects, the sleep issues, and all those things to go away. So that's a long time for just using the wrong thing. So stick to those frequencies. It's going to be amazing. If you stick to that, you stick to the recommended devices with the vagus nerve, you're going to be able to reap the benefits of a calmer nervous system and all of the healing that can bring. Okay, and the fifth and final top 5 things to not do with microcurrent is don't be afraid to experiment. This may sound silly after the warnings I've given here, but know that when dealing with pain and injuries, if you are not 100% sure what to do, any frequency in our devices does have the potential to help. Even if you use a regenerative frequency on inflammation, the electricity is still creating cellular change. It may not be the right frequency, but don't wait for instruction on the perfect frequency. If you don't know what to do, get started in the moment. Get some relief, and then seek out the ideal frequency for whatever is ailing you. Every single person is different, and everyone can benefit from microcurrent. You just need to find which frequencies work for you. So with some of the best things we've seen happen in the past have been total accidents. People have not known what they're doing. They grab a device, they set it to blue stem, and they hold it on an area, and we get incredible healing results. The microcurrent is healing the body anyway. The frequency just enhances and speeds up the effect. And in some cases, it is necessary for certain kinds of degeneration. But even in those kinds of cases, it's not going to hurt you to experiment while you're waiting, okay? So that is my top 5 do-nots of microcurrent therapy. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. I hope that you found the information useful, and I really hope you will join me this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time when we announce the brand new Avasia Life Pinnacle and talk about all of the phenomenal and exciting new features of the device. Okay, everyone, take care. And as always, let us know how we can help you.